Hey folks, welcome back to Carl's Place. I'm Carl, and today I'm hungry, but I don't want to eat something heavy. I want something a bit on the lighter side. So I'm going to make some good old-fashioned bruschetta, or as they say around here in Rhode Island, bruschetta. Stick with me. I don't really know if they call it prosciutto around here because they call it prosciutto. They call it ricotta ricotta. So I'm assuming they call bruschetta bruschetta. So I may be wrong. I apologize if I am. Um, so a little bit of background about bruschetta. It originated. It wasn't the bruschetta that as we know it today, but it originated back in the ancient Roman times when the olive farmers would take their olives and they would put them through the olive presses to make their olive oil. They would take a piece of bread and they dip it in the oil to taste how sweet it was. So that's the origin. Now it became what we know as bruschetta in the 15th century. So either way, it's an old recipe. And it started the way we know it in Italy in the 15th century when they would start toasting the bread, rubbing all garlic on it, and adding some toppings. So it's evolved over time, and some people put different toppings. So I'm going to show you how I make my bruschetta. What you're going to need is a good loaf of bread. This was I just got this at the at the local bakery. I'm not sure what kind of bread it is. It just said farmhouse something. So a good bread, a good artesian bread. And in the topping that I put on my bruschetta, I used plum tomatoes, fresh basil, garlic clove, olive oil, of course, olive oil, and a little bit of mozzarella. I don't put too much. Now I think classic bruschetta just has the tomato and basil as far as toppings, but I think the true bruschetta is just the bread toasted with garlic rubbed on it. So I may be wrong, but if anybody knows for sure, please let me know in the comments. So before we go ahead and toast the bread, I'm going to show you how I make my topping. So let's get to it. So let's go ahead and start with the plum tomatoes. What I do, put these in the little groove over here so they don't roll around. Cut it in half. And then I like to take just a little bit of the seeds out. Just a little bit because I want it to have some moisture, but I would prefer it have the olive oil. So not removing all of them, just a little bit. Okay. And cut that little nub off the end of the tomato. And just make little cubes. Just little bite size. Put that in your bowl. Now, of course, you can use whatever tomatoes you prefer. I like the plum tomatoes because they're meatier. Unless you get like a beefsteak tomato, of course. Those are incredible. Okay, the garlic. Literally just going to cut it in half. Now the garlic, all I did was cut it right in half, and this way the inside of the garlic is a little more tender, so when you rub it on the toast, you get a little bit more than just scraping the outside. So just cut it in half. Okay, then you get your basil, and I have, let's see, I have 5 medium large leaves. So what I'm going to do is just roll them up. That way you got a tube. And slice it very thin. Oh, I want to try this other knife. I I just sharpened this. I want to see if it worked. Oh, it did. Very nice. Okay. And kind of loosen them up. And you have your basil strands. Throw that in your bowl. Now all I do is add a little bit of salt. A little bit of salt. A little bit of pepper. And of course, olive oil. What they would call generous pouring. Let's give that a stir. Okay. Let's just give it a quick taste. A little bit more salt. A little bit more pepper. And there you go. That's it for the topping. And put these garlic pieces on the little plate. Get the mozzarella. Now the mozzarella I want to cut very, very thin. Oh, that just fell on my mouth. I don't know how that happened. So cut it very thin. And I want about two slices per slice of bread. Yeah. I will be doing a future video on how to make mozzarella. This I did not make this particular one, but I have made it in the past. I've made it about 3 or 4 times, and it's absolutely delicious. So that'll be a future video, but for now, I'm just using regular store-bought mozzarella. Okay, so I want rather large slices. So I'm going, and of course, it depends on what kind of bread you have and what shape it is. So this one, what I would do, what I am going to do is cut it in half, and then take 2 good slices from each side. So you want it fairly thick. Pretty good. Ooh, this has got holes in it. Wasn't expecting that. I'm going to lose some tomatoes there. That's okay. And then put this one, look, it just made it tinier. Let's move over to the stove. Okay, I can feel the pan starting to get warm. So I'm going to throw the bread on here and let it toast up. And what I want to do is I want to put enough olive oil to cover each side and then just dip it right in there. See, it gets nice and covered. Do that with both sides. I put a little bit of olive oil right in the hole. Okay, now I'm going to flip them. I'm going to take this off here, add more olive oil. Ooh, that side's actually getting nice and toasty. Okay, that didn't look like it got enough olive oil, so I'm just going to pour it right on. There we go. Yeah, that side's done. Okay, let's see. This one's done. See how nice and brown and toasted that is? Let's finish this one up. That's pretty done. So there we have our two nicely, well, I'm not even going to call them toasted, they're fried. Our two pieces of fried bread. Let's go ahead and put this together. So, ready to assemble the bruschetta. We have our two nicely fried pieces of bread. So I'm going to take half a clove of garlic each and just go ahead and rub it right on the toast. Oh, you can smell it. And it kind of, I don't know if you can see, you can kind of grates it onto the bread a little bit. It just makes it enough to be fragrant and give you a little hint of garlic. And do the other piece of bread. And of course you can take that and throw it in a pasta sauce. And then what I do is I just put some mozzarella. I have this big hole here, unfortunately. That was unexpected. So we'll just do it this way. It's okay. That's life. You never know when there's going to be a hole where you don't want it. Throw some little olive oil on here. A little bit of salt. And some pepper. And then just pour as much topping on there as you like. And there you go. Homemade bruschetta. I'm hungry, I'm eating. All right, ready to try my bruschetta. Now I know this looks like a lot, but this will be my dinner, and that's it. I won't eat anything else, so get another close-up of that. Nice toasted bread, mozzarella, tomatoes, basil, and lots of olive oil. Love it. And of course, normally I would just eat these with my hands and not a fork, but I got holes. I got holes in my bread. I didn't expect that. But what are you going to do? First, let's pick it up, take my ring off, because this could be messy. You know what? Let me cut this in half. It'll probably be more manageable. We'll cut around the hole. Okay. Now I hope you can hear this, because this should be nice and crunchy. Oh my God. It's so light but hearty at the same time. You have the lightness of the mozzarella and the tomato and the basil, and then the bread gives it a little bite. And the garlic is just enough rubbed on there. It's incredible. Mmm. I could eat this every day. Actually, I do eat this quite often in the summertime, because when it's hot and you don't want something overly hot and something quick. This is perfect. Nice light dinner. It's just enough mozzarella. And the olive oil is just delicious. Fresh basil is another one of my favorite things. I have a little terrarium thing in my house. And now that it's spring, I want to put some pods in there and make sure I have basil fresh on hand all summer. So love it. This is definitely a munchy food. I don't know who the original person was that came up with this variation and just decided, hey, I'm gonna I'm going to fry some bread and put this stuff on here. Brilliant. You're a genius. I know you're long gone, but thank you. Last bite. Okay, folks. I'm going to finish eating this, but that's it for today's video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Have subscribed. Hit the notification button so you don't miss any future videos from Crossplace. Have a great day. Bye.